I think they're escaping the rat race, they're escaping the norm, they're escaping what society wants you to do or what you should do. And I think they are moving towards freedom.
Right.
So I do think that it does combine a little bit of both. I believe also that people are seeing people online. And as much as we say, you know, there's going to be problems that you're going to face in this country, but being able to just have these amazing experiences, people didn't realize for generations, and especially women, I think, that was not an option.
Janelle Brown left the UK for a 2-week vacation to Thailand, arriving on Christmas Day. But that was 7 months ago, and somehow she's still here living in Phuket. She's a digital nomad, content creator, and coach who says that she always knew that she'd be living this fabulous life on her own terms. However, she loves to use her platform to talk about the truth behind living across the world away from family, friends, and the life that you once knew. Today, we're going to be talking about her soft life strategy, business, and what it truly takes to build a life beyond the algorithm. Janelle, before we spill the tea, babes, I have to ask, how did you get here?
How did I get to Phuket?
Yes.
With Emirates.
Love me some Emirates, babes.
Yeah, 100%. I actually came in 2023, the first time, and I don't know what brought me here. I just had, my intuition told me to book a flight.
Okay.
So I booked a one-way flight, and that was the start of this journey. So
amazing. So that was 2023?
Yes.
And you were here for how long then?
I was here for 3 months.
And then you went?
And then I went back home.
Okay.
And the whole time that I was at home, I wanted to be back in Thailand.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was your first trip ever?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me, when you first arrived in Phuket, what was it that gave you the vibe that I could live here?
I'm not too sure, because I can't explain the feeling. And I think that for a lot of people, you just go somewhere and you're like, this is it. That's what I think happens. So, and that's what happened for me. But
okay, babes, real talk, tantrums do not look fun. But what if I told you that they don't have to take over your house? In my course, Managing Tantrums Like a CEO, I'll teach you the strategies that turn tantrums into opportunities. No yelling, no bribes, no screens, and no chaos. You will learn how to understand what's really going on behind those meltdowns, how to keep your cool when they lose theirs, and how to raise emotionally intelligent children without losing yourself in the process. Because CEOs don't react, babes, they respond, and you can do the same. So if you're ready to bring more calm, connection, and confidence to your home, click the link and check out Manage Tantrums Like a CEO.
Another part of it is the Thai people. They are the most welcoming, friendly, nicest people. They've got such a sense of community, and they're just willing to help. And I think when you're surrounded by people like that, it just makes you want to stay in the place.
Sure. So you fast forward and you're coming here just for a Christmas holiday?
Yes.
And then why are you still here, babes?
So I landed on Christmas Day. I do have some family that live in Phuket as well.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah. I have a
Okay.
cousin that lives here, but I see him just as much as I would if I was in England, because you
Sure.
know what it's like. We live down the road, but I only probably see him once or twice a month.
Sure.
So I landed on Christmas Day. There was other family members here, and I just came out of freezing cold England. I was ill, you know. I got here and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. 5 days later, I found an apartment, and then literally about 2 weeks after that, I moved in.
Really? So what were you leaving behind in the UK?
So I just got out of a relationship,
Okay.
which is the reason why I came back in 2023. And then we were together for 2 years, and we broke up in November. So I think that another reason for me to stay was because I kind of didn't have any ties.
Sure.
I'd literally given up my house. Yeah, there was nothing really. Family, friends, and my
Sure.
dog is what I'm leaving behind. But in a sense of business and stuff, you know, that comes wherever I am. So
Do you think that breakup was the catalyst for you to be like, let me just change up the scenery?
100%, because the whole time that I was in that relationship, I really wanted to move back to Thailand, but because his business and the things that were happening he had to remain in the UK, and you know, that was a decision that was made at that point. So when that relationship broke down, it was like, okay, I'm free. You know, it's time to start a new life. What
Sure.
do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And I think that sense of freedom was just like, okay, stay here and start to build something.
And when you say that 5 days later you find somewhere to live, my immediate thing is like, My girl, are you not like needing to put more time and thought into this decision, or is this just like your vibe? You're quite
Yeah,
impulsive.
this is my personality.
Okay.
If I say I'm going to do something, I just do it.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, what's the worst that can happen? And I think this is like the advice that I always give to people when they're thinking about moving abroad or starting a business, or just what's the worst that can happen?
Okay.
If anything does happen, you can go back.
Right.
Your country's still going to be there. Your friends and family is still going to be there. But yeah, I think a lot of the time you just have to make a decision and go with it. You can always change your mind, but success loves speed. So just make the decision and go with it.
And business-wise, because you speak a lot about your online business, how long did you have this before you were in Thailand?
I've actually been doing marketing. So my business is that I do social media marketing for businesses.
Okay.
I've actually been doing that since 2019.
Okay.
So I quit my job in 2019, again, a risk-taking decision. And I moved to Ibiza. So I just quit
Okay.
my job, had no backup plan, just quit, moved to Ibiza. And that's when that marketing side started.
Okay.
So it's actually been a long time. It's not, I didn't just, start this business and 6 weeks later move. I did have, quite a solid foundation.
Sure. When you moved to Ibiza, you had plans to set up this business, or that was just another holiday that turned into an extended?
Well, actually, I do have, my family were living in Ibiza, so I actually
Okay.
went out there just to give it a go and see what happened. That actually didn't work out.
Okay, why?
Because I was 23, living in Ibiza, trying to build a business, and the partying took over. I was like, who wants a business when there's a beach club? So that didn't work out.
Okay.
And that was my first stint of being a digital nomad.
Okay.
I actually came back from Ibiza with zero money,
Right.
and zero clients.
Right. But memories.
But memories. And also, took the risk. It didn't work out, just as some risks don't. Sometimes
Sure.
you do things and it works out great. Sometimes you do things it doesn't. But
Do you think that because you had already had that experience, it made your Thai experience a lot better and more successful?
definitely, I think that because I'd had that experience and I realized actually my focus wasn't in the right place. I had no discipline. I wasn't really concentrating. So now coming over to Thailand was a completely different experience. I was like, okay, I need to work. First work, then play.
Sure. For a lot of people who are considering moving abroad, not necessarily to Thailand, but anywhere, money and finances is probably like top of the list, right? And I think the fact that you have been able to build a business is really incredible because it gives people the inspiration that actually it can be done. Did you have any experience in social media marketing? You said you left your 9 to 5. I don't know, was there a connection between your job and your business?
So the reason why I got into marketing is because I lied on my CV.
Okay. We love a little zhuzh, babes.
Yep. Not, condoning lying, but at the same time, sometimes you just got to get where you need to be. So I was actually at university. I was studying events management.
Okay.
And I was in my final year and I found a job on Indeed that looked amazing, but I
Right.
didn't have any marketing experience. But, at the time, I think I was 20, I was on social media. I kind of knew a little bit about it.
Sure.
So I lied on my CV and said that I did like a stint with, I think it was like a friend's business or something.
Sure.
And then I went to work with that company. They gave me full training
Amazing.
as part of the package. And so then I did learn a little bit from there. But social media marketing is something that you can just pick up. All of these online businesses that you see people doing, you can teach yourself if you
Okay.
want to. There's a lot of information out there.
Do you think that it's becoming oversaturated?
So I think there's a lot of people in the online world. And yes, there's a lot of people that do social media for businesses, but there are billions of businesses out there.
Okay.
So there's definitely less social media managers than what there are businesses.
Sure.
So as much as it is oversaturated, I think if you position yourself well, if you are the best at what you do, then you don't need to think about anybody else because,
Sure.
you're putting that effort into getting the clients.
Are most of your clients still UK based?
No, actually, I have a couple of UK. I have some that are in America. Yeah, they're all over the world.
Okay.
So,
And how do you continue to make sure that you're getting clients, irrespective of where you actually live?
so I use online platforms
Okay.
to get clients. But this is the part of being self-employed and running these online businesses
Sure.
that people don't see, which is you have to get clients every day.
Mm.
You can't I've got a client now, I can take a month off. No.
Sure.
Because what if that client decides not to work with you anymore?
Sure.
So it is a constant thing of every single day looking out for new clients.
And still be hungry.
Yes. Oh yeah, you have to be. You have to be. I think maybe when you get to a certain point, then I don't know though, because then you want more.
There's always more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say you can ease off the gas a little bit, but you can't, because once you hit this income, you then want to hit the next one. So.
Sure. Do you think that the time you started this online business, was the vision always to be able to live wherever you wanted?
I think yes, but also I don't really look at the super long-term vision.
Okay.
I look at what do I need right now. So the first initial part was that I don't want to be in this job and I need to make some money doing something else.
Right.
So essentially it was just get me out of this position to the next.
Sure.
And I do believe, like, when I think about business, yes, I do have a bigger vision for my life, but in regards to business, I'm just hitting this milestone, then the next one, then the next one.
You come to Thailand, you get your lease, and you're like, right, how long does it take to go from that honeymoon vacation period to this is actually now real living?
I don't know whether I'm still in reality yet.
Really?
Yeah. I just think that I always say Thailand's not a real place. Like, I say this to my friends. My friends have now visited and they're like, this is not a real place, because it does still feel like a holiday.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't. I think that when you're not working, you're not having the routine of like a 9 to 5, I can choose whatever I want to do. I don't think it seems like how I would if I would be living in England.
Okay.
You know, but the reality sets in, I think, when you are missing your friends and family and when things go wrong. And then you're like, I'm on the other side of the world. I'm not just down the road.
Sure. Has anything gone wrong yet?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Can you tell me what's been going on, babes?
I mean, okay, two sides, right? Business and personal. So I had a car crash on Thursday.
Literally?
Literally.
Thursday just gone?
Thursday just gone.
Okay.
Nobody was injured.
Okay.
You know, we were fine. But in that moment, the whole front of the car came off. And I was just like, oh my God. And of course, like, it's a big shock.
Sure.
And I just had a breakdown at the side of the road. And I was like, oh my God. And in that moment, you just want your friends.
Sure.
You want your family. You want your people.
Yeah.
You know? And obviously I rang my mom and it was great to have her on the other side of the phone. But the reality is that you've got to deal with this by yourself. And I think business-wise, I literally last month lost one of my biggest clients.
Oh no.
Just because this is what happens, you know, people signing a contract with you, but when that contract's up for review, they have if they want to.
Yeah.
And it's not about the work being bad, it's just because their finances have changed or they sometimes want a cheaper service, which they've now found.
Right.
So yeah, when things like that happen, you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
Driving, I'm like, every time I come here, and I always say, I learned how to drive in Jamaica, and I believe that learning to drive in Jamaica prepares you for the world, right? If you know, you know. However, even on this side of the world, I think it's part language barrier. I wouldn't want to have a car accident and not be able to speak without Google Translate.
Yes.
And also the mopeds and like the bikes, they just take over the road. So I'm like, it's cool. Grab can take my little money. And it means that it's just one less thing for me to think about. Yes. So when I saw that you were driving, I was just like, what? Maybe I'm being dramatic, but I was super impressed.
Well, we drive on the same side of the road as England, so I think that's one thing, right? I don't know. Did you make us?
Yeah, we drive on the same side.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I think that makes it a little bit easier. People coming from Europe, I think, find it a little bit harder. I do think you need to have your wits about you a little bit more, but other than that, I've been absolutely fine.
Really?
Yeah, it's been absolutely fine. Before that, I was driving a bike as well.
Really?
So yeah, which you just have to learn to ride.
Were you wearing a helmet?
Of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course. But for me, a big part of like freedom is just being able to get up and go where I need to go. And I love Grab and I love like being able to just go places for cheap. But at the same time, I love a car journey.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I do. I love driving. Yeah. So I completely get it. Like, you can have a bad day, babe, put me behind a steering wheel, turn the music up. And I'm like, cool, life's not that bad anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
and also in terms of living, I do think that when you drive somewhere, it does start to cross over from tourist experience to lived experience. So I completely get it. I just don't know if I'm brave enough.
Yeah. And I think that something can always happen,
Sure.
right? So for me, I've got friends here that don't drive at all. They're never going to drive, and they're like, "You're crazy." And I'm like, the thing is, could I have a car crash in England? Of course I could. And
Yeah.
I've had a car crash in England.
Sure.
You know, so these things can happen anywhere in the world. The difference is that obviously the experience and the fact that you're in a different country, there's language barriers, there's a lot going on, you know, it's very overstimulating. But aside from that part, you know, these things can happen regardless.
So true. Do you think that there's anything about living in Phuket that surprised you? I know you'd visited a few times, you have some family here, but just in terms of your own experience, did you ever have moments of like, I didn't expect that?
I think living in Thailand in general or in Phuket, the amount of animals that are just everywhere. Like there was a monkey on the side of a car the other day. There's just animals everywhere. It's just crazy. And I think the amount of like wild dogs and just walking down the road and seeing an elephant is casual. And I was saying to my friends that we just look at an elephant walking down the road and we're just like, yeah, cool, we're in Phuket. But do we actually process it? Like, do we process like this is not normal for our brains to see and just take a minute like there is an elephant there?
It's so funny.
So yeah, there's things like that just take you off guard sometimes. Like you can just be like, I have this conversation, and sometimes when you've been here for like as long as I have, you are just like, cool, I'm in Thailand, or you don't really think that you're in Thailand, but then there's these little parts throughout your day or throughout your week, like, yeah, I'm really in Thailand.
So true. And the animal thing really resonates. I had a friend of mine that came to visit me in Jamaica, and I'm from Kingston, right? Capital city. And she says to me, and she's from New York, she's like, April, there's a lot of goats in the road. And I kid you not, I was at this point like 22. I had never noticed the goats. It was only when she said it, again, because she's coming from an outsider's perspective. I was like, you're so right. And she goes, and they really know how to cross the road. Like they wait for the cars. And I know it's silly, but I was like, why are there so many goats? But I had never seen them. So the whole elephant monkey thing really resonates, because sometimes it's for someone else to point it out to you. And you're like, they have literally been here the entire time.
Yeah.
But living in Phuket, why did you choose Phuket? Was it really just family connections, or had you been to other parts of Thailand?
No, the first time that I came to Thailand, I flew straight into Phuket.
Okay.
I'd never looked at, so I'm a type B traveler, okay, which means that so there's type B and type A people.
Okay.
Type A people are highly organized.
Yeah.
Very, they know what they're doing. They've got an itinerary.
I think that's me.
Yeah, I'm the direct, whatever you are, I'm the opposite of that. I did no research.
Sure.
I did a little bit around the laws, but I didn't do any research. And I never do any research when I go to countries. And maybe that is a fault, but at the same time, I just like to have the experience, right? But I didn't go to Bangkok, which usually people fly into Bangkok. I do not know why. I just decided to come straight to Phuket. And I didn't even tell my cousin that I was coming here. I didn't tell anybody, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell friends. I didn't tell family until like 2 weeks before. And I was like, just to let you know, I'm going, because I think sometimes people's opinions can put you off going somewhere, or, if you know in your mind that this is where I need to be, for some reason it's calling me. So that's what I did. There was no, I want to be here for this reason.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
And you've since visited Bangkok, right?
Yes.
Could you live there?
No.
No. What is it about Bangkok that you couldn't live there?
For me, I think that I'm from a city, only a small city. I'm from Nottingham, but I don't want a city life.
Okay.
But I do love a city. Like I could be in like New York, for example.
Okay.
But I can't explain why. And for me, it's just feelings. It's just like, how do I feel when I'm in this place?
Sure.
And yeah, my feelings make a lot of my decisions for me, as you can tell. I don't feel like being here, but I feel like being there.
Sure.
But also, I think that maybe I didn't go to the right part.
Okay.
So I have people say to me like, oh, how can you live in Phuket? But they went to Patong and they didn't have a great experience.
Okay.
So I think maybe I could go back to Bangkok and maybe go to a different area.
Okay.
And have a different experience.
And so maybe you just landed in the right area for your spirit.
Yes.
Tell me about Patong. I don't know anything about Patong.
Patong is like the main area in Phuket.
Okay.
It's very touristy, loads of bars. It's got like the walking street,
Okay.
So if you're here to have a party, which I didn't realize, I call Phuket the Ibiza of Thailand.
Right.
But I didn't realize the first time that I came to Phuket that it is like quite a big party island. I always thought Thailand was like really spiritual and like yoga and chill. And then when I got here, I was like, this is Ibiza. Like, why is everyone partying? Like, what's going on? Any day of the week, you can go and have a party. So Patong is a very tourist area. So I think if you land there, depending on what your vibe is,
Sure.
you'll love or you'll hate Phuket.
Okay.
So,
and how has your lifestyle changed? You spoke a bit about how there's a very like yoga, spiritual, clean eating. Is that the vibe here?
I think your experience of Thailand in general depends on you, on what you want to get out of it. Two people can come here and have totally different experiences, of course. For me, lifestyle is slow.
Okay.
So it's very slow. I have slow mornings. It doesn't feel like there's a rush.
Okay.
Which is completely different to England. When I'm in England, I'm here, there, everywhere. I'm doing lots of different things.
Sure.
And I spend a lot more time by myself. And I think that the lifestyle, which is probably what people see on the internet, which is what they want, is that you can choose something new to do every single day if you wanted to.
Okay.
You can never get bored here.
Right. And when you say slow mornings, it sounds very poetic.
Yeah.
But what does that mean for you?
Slow mornings means I do not have an alarm.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I don't have an alarm at all. I did used to have an alarm, and I used to be the girl who gets up at 6 a.m., goes to the gym, and now I'm just like, who said that? Who said that I need to do that? You know, I'm not listening to these gurus, get up at 5 a.m. and all of this thing. I'm just like, I'm just doing what I want to do.
Sure.
So I don't have an alarm. I go to the gym or I do yoga. I come back, I have breakfast. And when I mean slow, I mean like, I remember working in my job and like waking up at 7 a.m. and then I'm like rushing around trying to get dressed and I'm commuting to work and then I get to work and my day's like, you know, and now I'm just like, I just do what I feel like doing in the morning. So slow mornings for me are really important. I love the morning. I love having like a really nice breakfast and just being able to not rush around.
Sure. And you spoke a little bit about spending more time alone. How is it finding friends, finding your tribe in a foreign country?
It is quite difficult, I'll be honest. Places like Thailand and like Bali, because they are a lot tourist areas, people are always passing by.
Yeah.
So you could meet people. I have met some incredible people, but they're only here for 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, it's so sad that I've met you and you're going.
Sure.
And I think also that sometimes you come together with people because, well, I live in Phuket and you live in Phuket, so let's be friends.
Yes.
But for me...
If you weren't in Phuket, babe, I would not be your friend. Yeah. I have had that experience.
Right. But for me, I also can't do it because I'm like, I'd rather just be on my own than like, you know, forcing a connection with somebody. However, I had somebody on Instagram. I've met a lot of people through TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
And I met somebody on Instagram who then had like a studio opening, and then I met so other people. So for me, it's just like putting yourself in positions where you can meet people. You know, are there meetups? There's Facebook groups. But building genuine connections is a lot harder.
And then in terms of the connections that you would have had, like your friendships that you would have had in the UK, have they all survived the trip? Have you learned anything about these relationships? Because I know for me, I've always felt that out of and I don't have many friends, babes. I don't like people. Let's not get it twisted, right? There's like a few people. But I think that I'm often always the one moving.
Yes.
And so it's been a learning experience to see how we navigate that. Like, I'm really good at keeping in touch with people, but I don't always want to be the one that has to call.
Yes.
You know? And so I just wondered if you've had any experiences that have kind of changed even relationships that you thought were solid that maybe just are being tested.
I would say that my friendships are really solid, and they were solid before I came here. These are the same friends that I had when I was here in 2023.
Okay.
So for me, my 5 friends, they're, you know, I'm in a group chat with some of them, and the rest of them we do speak on a daily basis. There are some friends that were a little bit surprising, but they wasn't my closest friends.
Okay.
But you know, I've not reached out to them, they've not reached out to me. But it's not in, you know, kind of like bad blood. It's just that, well, maybe our friendship was because I was in England and because we maybe went to the similar places. And now that we're not going to those places, we just don't have the connection. But I think it's really important to try and have that solid friendship circle. When you're on the other side of the world, you still want to maintain that familiarity.
Yeah.
And I have strong connections. I speak to my mom every day. I speak to my grandmother every day. So I do make sure that I put an effort in to speak to friends and family. And I think that that's what's really important, is that if you are on the other side of the world and you're on your own, and then you're also not connected with friends and family, you are really going to feel it.
Isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that leads quite nicely into people do have an idea, I think, from seeing online, seeing images and videos about what life is like abroad.
Mhm.
And I guess isolation, especially in business, right? Because
Yeah.
it's another thing to move abroad and like go into a corporate environment where you're then having colleagues. They don't need to be a bestie, but it's still
Yes.
human interaction. And you're doing a lot of work by yourself by growing your business.
Mhm.
How do you manage those not so joyous moments?
I'll be totally honest.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was having one of those moments yesterday. So
Okay.
yesterday was a day where I was like, this is a lot. It's a
Mhm.
lot of pressure. No one's coming to help me, this. And I think that when you have that realization that nobody's coming to save you, if
Mhm.
you want this life, it is on you
Yeah.
and the pressure's on. Nobody's going to get up and do the work for you. And I didn't used to allow myself to feel like that, because I'm
Okay.
like, no, back to it, get going. And now I think the past 6 months, especially like the time that I've been here, I've really just allowed myself to, it's cool to feel like that. It's fine
Mm.
to sometimes like have low mood and feel a little bit sad. But then today I get up, I do my hair, I do my makeup, and I'm back to it, because you can't wallow in self-pity,
Sure.
because that does not pay you. Unfortunately not. So I think that just honor yourself and know that not every day is going to be this Instagram highlight.
Mm.
Some days are like, actually, you might just have a little cry, or you might just be a little bit sad.
Sure.
But it's also like knowing that you can have those moments, but keeping it a moment. I
Sure.
can't drag that out for a week.
Yeah.
Like that's a couple
Was there
of
something that
hours.
triggered yesterday?
Um, I think it was probably just the car crash,
Yeah.
losing it's been, sometimes life just comes at you,
Yeah.
one thing after another.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
And this is a lot. But pressure builds diamonds, and that you just have to be like, okay, this may have been like, there's a lot going on, but
Mhm.
also gratitude. Like, okay, cool, that's going on, but I live in a country that's always 32 degrees. I've got the sea, I've got the sun, and I'm building something amazing. So
Yeah.
then you just have to like come back to yourself. But these are the things that you don't see on Instagram. You don't
Mm.
see, it's not a part of the highlight reel. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't like speaking about it. But that's why it's really important for me now to start sharing this message and give people the realities. Because imagine you're seeing these highlight reels of these people in Thailand and Bali, and then you come here and then you experience one of those moments and you're like, well, it must just be me.
Yes. Yeah. Is there anything else that has like in the journey, right? We're still relatively early on in the journey. 6-7 months isn't that long.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you think people need to know about the challenges of moving abroad? Not necessarily specific to Thailand, but in terms of your own personal journey?
I think that you have to be really on this self-development journey.
Okay.
I think it's really important to have a really strong and resilient mindset. If you are somebody, oh, and also you have to be somebody that is okay with not having any stability.
Right.
No stability. There isn't any. The most stability you're probably going to get is that if you is your house, if you're living in one place.
Sure.
But if you are building an online business, that's not stable.
Yeah.
You could earn thousands one month, and the next month you could earn half of that.
Sure.
So there is no stability. So you have to be mentally prepared for that. So I would say, before even like moving abroad, start your self-development journey.
Okay.
Start your mindset work.
Yeah.
Really start to understand who you are, and also understand like what your strengths and weaknesses. Really get into that. Really get to know yourself, so that when you are away and things feel heavy and there's a lot going on, that you can just go back in yourself and just be like, okay, cool. You can self-soothe, you can regulate your nervous system. But also maybe there's things that you need to outsource. Maybe
Sure.
there's things that you aren't great at that you can get somebody else to do
Yeah.
and relieve
Did
the
you know
pressure.
yourself before you came, or have you been really having this realization since you've got here?
I think a bit of both.
Okay.
So I'm somebody that's big into self-development, reading all of these books. So I do think I did, but I don't think you ever truly know yourself.
Yeah.
I think you're always growing, you're always changing and evolving. So you will discover yourself. And I think like people go away to like find themselves, but you're not finding yourself, you're creating yourself.
Sure.
Because every single day you learn something new about yourself, and every week you're faced with something that will then make you question yourself and who you really are.
How are you different having lived in Thailand so far?
I think I'm way more resilient than what I thought I was. And I think that what it's taught me, especially let's just say the past month, is that it's okay to show up as who I am.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of people on the internet talking about authenticity and like how to show up authentically. Just show up as you are, however that is.
Right.
And the right people will come to you. And the more that you're comfortable with being yourself, the easier that life will be for you. Because a lot of the time when, especially if you're going into the content creation world, right?
Sure.
You feel like you might record a video, then you're like, oh my God, no, I could never post that. Because maybe it's not as aesthetic as you want it to be. Or maybe you're speaking in a way that you think, oh my God, what will people think? The more you just learn to be comfortable with being yourself and show up however you want, I think the easier it gets.
You just turned 30. Make me feel old, babes.
Really?
But for women, especially, right, we always hear about these milestones. We hear about ages. We hear about things that we're supposed to be doing, should have done, all of the things. I think probably it's fair to say that we hear these things more so than men. And I get it from a biological perspective. But I just wondered, what does being 30 mean for you?
Being 30 means that I am now I would say really building now. I think my 20s were discovering and figuring out what I wanted to do. I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I've done lots of different things. I had 15 jobs before 2019.
Literally or figuratively?
No, 15. I counted. I had 15 jobs.
Hold on, tell me a few.
I've done everything. I've been a waitress. I've taught in schools as a TA. I've been an events manager. I've been within marketing. I actually did door-to-door sales for 2 days. I've done lots of things.
Cool.
Lot bar work. Yeah. I've been a PA. Oh God, honestly, I've done everything possible. But my 20s was the time that I allowed myself to really discover what I wanted to do. Aside from all of this, I'm also a DJ. So yeah, very creative person. But also in my 20s, I was lost. I was like, well, what is it that I really want to do? And then when I figured it out, that actually it's lots of things that I want to do. I think now turning 30 means being able to build. Now I know where I want to be. Now I know what I want to do. 30 means building. And I also think that there is pressure on society for women to, well, are you going to find a husband? Are you going to get, are you going to have children? And all of these things. And yes, I would love all of those things. But actually, I think that being 30 at the minute is making good decisions. Yeah.
Do you think that having given yourself the freedom to do all of these different jobs in your 20s, and you say that you kind of know what you want to do now, but it still feels like there's a few things, right, that you want to do. Do you think that having too many passions, because it's something that I struggle with, right? Like everybody's like, even social media, when they're like niche down, I'm like, oh no, but I don't want to talk about that today. I want to like talk about this today. Yes. Do you think that in your life, having to have too many things that could perhaps not distract you, but pull you in different directions, has that been challenging?
Yes, definitely. And I have always felt, I used to always be called Jack of all trades, right? And that used to really offend me. And I used to get quite upset by it because I'm like, well,
because the next line is master of none.
Right, yeah. And it's like, and sometimes it feels like, yes, I'm doing all of these things, but am I doing all of them well? And like, would it be better for me to just be amazing at this thing? And that's what people tell you. But then no, because if I didn't do all of these things, I wouldn't be here now. Imagine if I'd have stayed as a waitress because that's what society says. Or maybe I didn't quit my corporate job that paid me a lot of money when I was 23 because society says, be really good at this. I would not be here now. Niching down, okay, if you are somebody that enjoys doing one thing, great. I'm actually not built that way. There's something called human design, and it kind of tells you like kind of like about yourself. If you're into all of like astrology and that kind of stuff, it's really good to look into. Mine said manifesting generator, and it literally says you are somebody that in this life you are meant to do lots of different things. And I was like,
Yes.
Breathe, because now I can. And who says that you have to be a master at everything? Am I a master at marketing? No. Do I make money from it? Yes.
Amazing.
You know, am I a millionaire? No. But can I teach other people how to do the things that I do? Yes. And I think there's definitely a fine line, because if you are doing everything, how do you concentrate?
Sure.
But I think that I have kind of blended them seamlessly together. So I think, you know, if I was a doctor and a DJ, it's two completely different
Right.
things. But if I'm a content creator and I DJ and I also have a marketing business and I coach, they all kind of come within the same thing,
Sure.
because they all fall within creative, and marketing covers everything. So
Do you think that it's harder to make money in Thailand as an expat?
yes, as far as I'm aware, there are not many jobs for
Okay.
foreigners. You could be a teacher. I think you can work in real estate. One thing I love about Thailand is they reserve their jobs for their people.
Okay.
So that's what I love about it, right? Because if you want to open a shop here, you better have Thai people working.
Okay.
So if you want to move to Thailand in particular, and I think Bali, you need an online business, which means that you only have that source of income. In England, I can make money from DJing, I can make money from consulting, I can make money from lots of different things. But here, the only thing I can make money from is online.
That's really interesting. I think that's not really spoken about that much, in the sense that in your home country, you can have multiple hustles, you can switch, you can pick, choose, refuse. And then when you choose to live this life abroad, your wings are clipped in some sense. Yeah. Okay. And then people that live here, a lot of people talk about visa runs.
Yes.
What is a visa run?
So a visa run is currently, when you come to Thailand, you get 60 days. I'm talking from an English passport perspective, right? I don't know for other countries. You get 60 days, and then you can extend by a further 30 days. So in total, you get 90 days in the country.
Right.
Now, if you do not have a visa to live and work here, then what a lot of people do is they leave the country and then they come back, and then they get the 90 days again.
Okay.
But they are clamping on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been people that have been refused at the border because they're looking for your passport. And it's
And
like,
they
well,
can
Thailand, Malaysia 2 days, back to Thailand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And is it hard to get an online business visa? I don't know what the name is.
So it's a DTV in Thailand, and it is a 5-year visa.
Okay.
So you can live and work in Thailand for 5 years. You are allowed to be here for 180 days, and then you have to leave and then come back. It's not hard to obtain, but you do have to have a particular set amount in your bank account.
Sure.
And I think that is the only visa that you can use to work.
Okay.
So I would recommend the DTV visa to everybody.
Sure.
You can do border runs, but imagine if they don't let you back in the country and you've got your house, your apartment's full of your stuff, and they're like, no, sorry.
My heart couldn't handle it. It couldn't. So when you think of Thailand now, do you think of it as the place that you will reside for the next 5 years?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I love Thailand. I do see it as like a base. I mean, I literally don't live in England. I don't have a house in England.
Sure.
So I have a house here, so I live here. But will it be somewhere that I live for the next 5 years? I'm not sure. And I think I've got a lot of backlash online when I post videos saying, well, be here for 2 years and then see how it is. I don't know where I want to be in 2 years. Like, why are you bothered, first of all? That's another thing that I'd love to talk about, by the way, which is being online and like what that takes. But I really don't know. For the moment, yes. But my life changes constantly. I didn't know in December that I'd be living in Thailand.
Sure.
So I think who knows what would happen by this December.
Are there particular considerations, or is it literally wait till the universe speaks to me?
Wait till the universe speaks to me. At the moment, I'm a single woman living a solo life. If I were to meet somebody or, circumstances change, then, and I think that's a part of also, having an online business and being a traveler is just be open. Be open to the changes. Don't kind of say, okay, well, I'm going to be in Thailand for a year, because you never know what's going to happen. And then if something does happen and then you've got to change, if you're not open-minded, it's going to be really hard to adapt to change.
How is dating?
I am not dating.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not dating. I don't use dating apps.
Okay.
I've never used dating apps. It's just not for me personally. And my friends that I've had terrible experiences, it's not advertised towards me. There are people that you meet here that you may seem interested in. But I know, like, from my friends' experiences, they have met people who are then leaving in 2 weeks and they've had
Right.
like a great holiday romance, but then
Yeah.
it doesn't work. And then there are people that live here who you think, well, you live here, like we should date, but then it's not the right person.
Sure.
So dating is definitely harder.
It's harder than England?
Yeah, I would say it's harder than England because people are constantly moving.
Okay.
And another part is you don't know people. People can come here and make a whole persona, and that's scary. So, like in England, I'll be honest with you, I always like to meet people in person to kind of see who they are. But also you can do like a bit of background research and like get to know them. I'm very, very I'm not a free dater in a sense of like, I like to know you. I'd love to like meet your family and your friends and like, are you okay? Mentally. So yeah, dating is a little bit scary for me because I'm just like, I don't know who you are. And in a different country, people can make up who they are. Yeah. Which is a little bit deep, and it's probably not the answer that people was like, oh yeah, it's great to date out here. I don't think it is.
Speaking of people being able to create their own identity out here, not necessarily in a cynical way, but do you think that being away from your comfort zone does give you the freedom to kind of manifest your new self in a way that you wouldn't be able to with, even when you said you came here, you didn't tell people, right? Because you didn't want them to plant those seeds. But I wonder if on a like bigger scale, not because you're trying to like catfish someone, but you get to create whoever you want to be in a foreign country.
Yes, and I love that.
You do? Okay.
I love the fact that you are literally in a different world. You get on that plane, you go from one world to another, and in this world you can be whoever you want to be. I mean, in that world you can also be whoever you want to be. I do a lot of work around identity, and it's something that I'm really big on at the moment, and really just, you can be whoever you want to be, right? But I literally have completely changed who I am since being here. I wasn't a content creator before I came here. I got into content creation in January. I was always, behind the scenes for other businesses. I'd made a few videos on TikTok, nothing important, but I've changed my identity because now I'm a content creator. Now I work with brands. Now I do, now I've got a marketing agency, and now I'm a coach. I wasn't a coach before I came here either. So I think that you really can create, but I think what it does is it allows you to create who you want to be because you don't have people telling you who you are. So in England, I'm very much known as a DJ, oh, Janelle, that's the DJ. And I came here and I don't even tell people that I'm a DJ anymore because it is a part of me, but that's not what's leading the way over this side of the world.
Right. So you get to choose what part you're presenting.
Yes.
And then that's led you in these different spaces.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Why did you start your content creation just in January?
I didn't, it was accidental, to be honest with you. I made a video saying, I made a video that said, I came to Thailand for a 3-week holiday, now I live here. And that video blew up. And then I made another one and that video blew up. And then I think it was like The Sun and the Daily Mail did like a piece about it. And then I realized, well, actually people are interested. And I just kept making videos. And I grew my following quite quickly on TikTok, to be fair. I think I grew it to like 10K. But again, talking about identity, I then became known as like the girl who moved to Thailand. Right. So then now I've changed my content again because I'm not a tour guide. and I want to now just kind of be, this is just me. Whatever I show up on that day, and like you said earlier, I want to talk about this today. Sure. I want to talk about this. So maybe I go to a salon in Thailand and I film that, and maybe the next day I talk about my business, and the next day I talk about something else. But yeah, being able to kind of create who you are in a different country is one of the best things about moving away.
You spoke a little bit earlier to touch on life online.
Yes.
And what does that mean, that experience? How has that been for you? Because it's still relatively new. And I think different platforms have different energies. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'd love to hear about, because everybody has this idea of influencer or content creator, even digital nomad. I think they have quite sometimes negative connotations. Someone said to me about being an influencer, excuse me, and I was like, who's an influencer?
Right.
Like, I'm not the influencer, babes. No, I have a business.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no. I work really hard. And it's so funny because I resisted social media for such a long time. And I will be completely honest, I owe everybody an apology who their life is influencing because I just didn't think it was legitimate. I didn't appreciate how much work went into it. I was just like super negative in my mind. So caveat that
Yes.
I had really this idea that I would never, ever play that game, you know? And so I'm interested to hear from you how that experience has been online for you.
It has been wild. It has been wild. And the same, influencers and content creators are amazing. And yes, you might see an influencer and think, oh, well, I work in a school and or, I'm a nurse and I work really hard. And this person is just getting thousands of pounds, but actually it is really hard. And maybe not physically, maybe it's not physically demanding. The mental pressure, I'm not an influencer. And I also don't like the term influencer. The reason for that is because I'm not here to influence you. I'm just here to show up online because
Sure.
I enjoy it and I do enjoy creating content. The part that I don't enjoy is the comments. What is wrong with everybody? Guys, please, can we? And it's always like middle-aged men. And I genuinely don't get a lot of hate from women.
Okay.
A lot of the hate, and this is
Or maybe they're just all on me, babes.
Oh, the women are. Oh, okay. Oh, you've got the women. Okay, cool. I get the middle-aged men who hate me for just existing. And I think that is the hardest part. Mentally, you will get comments. So when I first started, it was great. You know, everyone was like, oh, go girl, like this is amazing. And then I made a video saying, like I'd rather live in a 1-bedroom apartment in Thailand than what I would living in, you know, a 3-bedroom house that I've just moved out of England because this is my experience. The hate on that video was unreal. And I'm like, I don't understand what I've said.
Sure.
But people will pick you apart. I've had people call me fat. I've had people tell me that I need to lose weight. I've had people literally send death threats. Bear in mind, I'm not doing anything. And I'm not very controversial online. You know, if I've got an opinion, I would say it. But I'm not, you know, an account that bashes anybody and I'm not a celebrity or anything like that. So when you have people really being negative, it's like it does get to you. And as much as you want to be resilient, as much as you're like, oh, you know, people say, oh, don't worry about what they say. I made a video. This was probably the worst thing. I had to take it down. I made a video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to take it down because every time I was going on my phone, there was pure hate.
What was the video?
So I made a video saying that I basically made a video. Now I did it with a hook, right? So a hook is the start of a video to get people to listen to it. So sometimes a lot of people say things at the beginning of the video just for attention, to gain people in. It's a marketing strategy. So I said, I'm in China and there's no Chinese food, right? But what I meant to say was the Chinese food that I experienced in England is not the same food that was in China. Now, the amount of comments were like, how did you not research? How do you not know this? You're stupid. And I'm like, well, how do you know? How do you know that information? Oh, well, I watched it on a program. Well, I did not watch that program. So, okay. So it got to 500,000 views within a couple of hours. And then it was nearly 1 mil. And honestly, my friends were like, this is amazing. Like, it's not all views are good views. Not all videos are great. Not all viral videos are good because actually it wasn't bringing anything in for me financially. It wasn't bringing anything into my business. What it was doing is just giving me anxiety every time I looked at my phone.
What were people so upset about?
The fact that they felt like I was being out. So I was racist. I was prejudiced. I was I had microaggressions towards Chinese people. I'm stupid. I don't do a research. I'm another English idiot abroad. Honestly, just everything that you could think of. And it's not even that the comments were that bad, but it was the volume of them.
Okay, it just kept coming.
Yeah, and I was just like, I just had to delete it. And then even after I deleted that video, they would comment on other videos that had nothing to do with it. Like I literally made a video about like a day in the life and they were like, so are you still, what did it say? So you still haven't learned what Chinese food is yet? And I'm like,
go away.
Yeah. But that is the downside. And I have
But you say it didn't help financially. You never made any money off of the million?
Oh, no, because I deleted the video. If I'd have kept it, I probably would have made quite a bit.
I would have been thinking about that money, babes. I'd be like, keep getting angry.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Right. And I think that from an outsider's perspective, I'd have told my friends the same thing. But you know when you're going on your phone, I'm just going on TikTok to watch TikTok.
Sure.
And I'm just getting constant. And I was like replying to some people. And then I made a follow-up video and I was like, listen, the point I was trying to make was that Turkish food in England is the same as Turkish food abroad, right? Same as like when you go to different places. That was the point that I was trying to make. That even got hate. And I was like, okay. And then I thought, is this adding to my brand or taking away from it? And I thought, actually, you know, yes, I could make maybe £500 from the video, but is it going to take away my credibility? Is it going to take away, and also mentally, what is it doing for me?
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people, I mean, you hear about like celebrities and stuff. So I think one thing to consider is like, if you are going to become a content creator, just know that that will, no, you could just be making videos of baking and they will come for you. I don't know why.
It's so true. And it's funny because when you said about knowing yourself before you travel, I always say to people, know yourself before you turn up online.
Yes.
Like 100%. People are often giving tips about how to grow and, you know, what you should do, hooks, all the strategic things. But I don't think people talk enough about what you need to do before you get online, just in terms of your mental state.
Yes.
People forever comment and they're like, oh, April, you're always so nice to people in the comments, even when they're telling you that they're going to call like child services on you. And the reason why I'm so not, first of all, let's be clear, online April and real life April, not the same thing.
Thank you for addressing that.
Social media is not a real place.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I am happy to declare that if you ever step to me with the same energy online in person, a different April will turn up, right? But going back to knowing yourself, when people tell me things, I don't feed my kids any refined sugar, ultra-processed food, they don't have screen time. These are the things that make people really upset. Not giving children cake from a UK perspective is abuse.
Right.
I didn't know this. I've now learned. Okay. And so people would say really bizarre things. And I think from my perspective, first of all, it's so extreme what they're saying that I genuinely find it funny. Like I genuinely find it funny. But there's another part of, I know the things that I'm vulnerable about, right? Like I know the things that I have my insecurities around. And luckily, motherhood and my kids is just not one of them, right? And so my point is that maybe we should choose like the things that we want to talk about and like make the focus of our content based also on the reality of how we're feeling. If you said to me, oh, your nose is a bit big, I might be like, damn, because I have thought about a rhinoplasty, right? But you can tell me anything about my kids. And quite frankly, I see them every day and I'm the best mother ever because this is how they're turning out, you know? So it's kind of like picking and choosing what you're going to show. But I will definitely say the like keyboard warrior syndrome is a real thing. And it's like it takes no prisoners. You could be 16 and showing a prom dress and I see people going mental at a 16-year-old. And I do think, you know, there are so many pros and cons to social media. We wouldn't be here in this space if it wasn't for that. But yeah, you have to be strong in the same way that before you move country, you have to like be able to do the work. And I think a lot of times people don't talk enough about doing the work, even just from like a trauma perspective. And it's something that I've thought about, especially with my children, because obviously you're thinking how you're going to prepare them and you therefore have to become the best version of yourself before you kind of pass that on. But I wonder do you think that most people are moving now? Because it seems like lots of people are moving. Are they moving to escape or are they moving to seek freedom? Because they're two very different things, right? You're either running away from something or you're running towards something.
I think actually a little bit of both.
Okay.
Depending who you are. So I think a little bit of both. I think a lot of people are escaping the UK because we're running away from the daily, I mean, you've lived in the UK. It's very negative energy there, right? It's very negative space. And I don't mean personally. I mean, I have a great experience in England, you know, but I just mean like, there isn't the support and there isn't that sense of community. And I think some people are very isolated, even in England. So as much as, you know, coming abroad and being isolated, actually you're quite isolated at home.
Sure.
I think they're escaping the rat race. They're escaping the norm. They're escaping what society wants you to do or what you should do. And I think they are moving towards freedom.
Right.
So I do think that it does combine a little bit of both. I believe also that people are seeing people online and as much as we say, you know, there's going to be problems that you're going to face in this country, but being able to just have these amazing experiences, people didn't realize for generations, and especially women, I think that was not an option. That was not an option for my grandmother. And I think this is something that we really need to speak about. That was not an option. The option was get married, have children, settle down, buy a house. That's it. That's your life. So I think now, like, I was seeing other women like living amazing lives and I was like, I want that for myself.
Sure.
So I do think people are moving a lot more towards freedom. And I think people are like, I don't want this life, But I think now with social media, people are showing you how to make it a reality,
Mm-hmm.
when before it was a dream. It's like, oh, I would love to go and move to a different country, but that's not possible for me because
Sure.
I'm just Sally from down the road, and I'm a teacher, and this is my life. And also the same with you, right? So people are seeing, oh, actually, okay, I do have children, but now I can travel with them as well. Which is, so people are seeing all of these opportunities and realizing that they see normal people like myself and you that are doing the things that they thought were a dream and were only made for certain type of person. So I think when you're seeing people that look like you, from the same background as you, same life experiences, it's possible, and now I can actually do it.
What do you think are some of the misconceptions about being here in Thailand? Like, I don't think Phuket is that cheap.
I was about to say, yeah, I don't.
I even compared to like other parts of Thailand,
Yeah.
I'm like, Phuket, I mean, there's certain things that are cheap. Like this morning I ordered eggs because I forgot that I didn't have any more eggs, and my girls eat eggs every morning.
Yes.
And it was like, I think £3 for like 24 eggs. Okay,
Yeah.
that was cheap, right? And the fact that it came to my house,
Yes.
great. But then like, I went to dinner and with my kids, and it's not cheap compared to like other parts. Bangkok,
Yeah.
which I expected to be more expensive because I'm thinking city life. I actually think I find deals. Clothing, not cheap in Phuket.
Yes.
Right? Like there was this really pretty dress. I'm still figuring out, do I go back for it? But it was like £40. I'm like, the material wasn't even £40 material.
Yes.
And then I go to Bangkok and I get a dress similar for like 11.
100%. Yeah.
Phuket's not that cheap.
Phuket's not that cheap. And what's happening as well is, of course, everybody's moving over here. So the same thing that happens, gentrification, right? So
Yeah.
everything's going up now. And that is another part where people are like, oh, you know, you're ruining Thailand. Babes, we can say the same thing about Londoners moving to Nottingham. You guys are ruining Nottingham because the prices are going up. You know, we could always say that.
Yeah.
I think Phuket is not as cheap. And I think Thailand in general, it is cheap compared to the UK.
Sure.
But if you want to live like a backpacker and you want to just eat Thai food every single day, great, that's fine. You can live on a budget. But if you want to have a nice, a particular lifestyle, okay, because everybody has a different type of lifestyle. I don't always like to eat Thai food. I like to go to fancy restaurants and I like to go to beach clubs and stuff like that, which means that my living expenses are way more than other people. And I also think a misconception would be, oh, that it's easy. You know, it's easy to live here. It's not. It's actually harder than what it is to live in the UK.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
In what ways?
Not in financially, but in ways that like, there's a language barrier. Unless you speak Thai, you're going to come across problems all the time, which I am learning, but it's, you know, it's not the easiest language to learn. And you can have a few phrases. Thai people are amazing. They will like help you to understand, like, even if there's a language barrier, you've got Google Translate. But it's like, what happens if you're not in Phuket and you're like, or you're somewhere where you've got no signal and you've got no Google Translate? You know, those are the things that make it a little bit harder than living in England.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of like Phuket, it does come across as very touristy. A lot of people say that it's like not an authentic experience of Thailand. Would you agree with them?
Yeah, I don't think I've had an authentic Thailand experience since being here. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been to Chiang Mai.
Right.
I haven't been to the rural areas, so I don't think I've actually experienced Thailand. Another thing as well, which is I live in an area called Katu.
Okay.
So there are there's definitely when I go like for like walks and stuff, you get to see like real Thailand, if that makes sense, like real Thai people living in their houses. And what's funny is that I make some videos and someone was like, oh, that looks disgusting where you are. And I was like, okay, so you just want to see the beach clubs and you want to see the beaches, but this is Thailand, babes. Yeah. There's no pavement, okay? Like, and there was a video that was, somebody went to Bali and was like, oh, it's not how it was meant to be. You are going to a country which is quite underdeveloped. Yes, they might have these amazing things that you see and the cafes and the gyms and the cute beaches, but you are in, they call it a third world country. This is not a third world country for me. England is, okay? But it is still very underdeveloped, and it's very authentic Thai. Like, yes, you see these beautiful villas, but if you were to have like an authentic Thai experience, it would look very different to what you see online.
It's funny because I only started really exploring this part of the world this year. I'd been to Vietnam before many, many years ago, but again, it was just on a holiday, right? Not spending this much time. And I hear stories from people who have been venturing out to Southeast Asia long before us, right? And I do feel like we're getting a different experience and not the best version. It does feel like Westerners have come and perhaps exploit is too harsh, or maybe not. And it feels like that has really changed the local culture, not necessarily in terms of the people, but in terms of the experience that we're having is clearly curated now for this expectation of tourists. And I just wondered, do you think, because even again, being a digital nomad can come like negative connotations, that it's like modern colonization because you're taking from a place. I just wondered, would you agree with those sentiments, or do you think that ultimately, like you have said, we're in a world where people are moving all the time, so you can pick and choose, you know, who's going to be on the end of that argument?
I think it depends who you are as a digital nomad. I have seen, or let's just talk about people going on holiday.
Yes.
You know, who you are as a person. If you come here and you're disrespectful and you're only eating from Western places and you are, you know, I seen somebody the other day actually like being really rude to Thai people. Now, if you're going to be that person, don't come here. Don't do it. You know, stay in your country. But for me, as an example, I create content, and a lot of the content that I am creating, sometimes it's paid and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a collab. But I do that because if I have a really great experience, I want to show people, but also it helps the small Thai businesses. So when I eat across the road at my local place, if I live in an apartment block where it's basically 90% expats.
Okay.
There's a small like shack across the road, gorgeous food. And another thing is like, that's not aesthetic for Instagram, right?
Sure.
Like if people came, they'd be like, you eat from there? I'm like, yeah, I don't get food poisoning. I'm cool. But I thought about it the other day and I thought, I understand the perspective of what people are saying, but without that apartment block, would they be making as much money as they do? You know? And I created a video of me getting a facial and she messaged me. She was like, I have lots of foreign people and I have 20 bookings. That was the most bookings she's ever had.
Yeah.
So I think use your platform wisely, use the fact that you are a Westerner wisely and contribute in a positive way. Don't just come and take away. I think that there definitely is, you know, the prices are rising. How does that affect Thai people? I do often think about it. Is there personally anything that I can do about that? No, the only thing that I can do is give back where I can, tip well. You know, and another part is like, if you are eating cheap food, tip. Like, why would you not tip? Tip the drivers. Sometimes I just seen the cleaning lady that's in the building and I just give her a tip because why not? And I think come over here with your Western money and use it in a great way.
I think gentrification is such a complex issue for all the reasons you said, right? Like I think about myself, I opened my first restaurant in Brixton, and again, anyone who knows Brixton knows that it's gone through a lot of changes, even more so post-COVID, but that's a whole nother topic. And I think a lot of people talk about gentrification in a really negative sense, but ultimately as a business person, my restaurant wouldn't have been able to be in Brixton had it not have been gentrified to some extent. And I think just because I'm Black, I got away with it, right? Like the fact that I wasn't from the UK didn't bother anyone because it was just most of the businesses owned in Brixton became white owned and you're a Black person, so it's okay for you to be here. And I find that really interesting about who we think is allowed to claim space, you know, based off of race versus nationality. But I think you make a really good point about respect. It does seem like there's a particular type of traveler, not necessarily someone who's living here, but a particular type of person who comes to Thailand with almost entitlement.
Oh, yes.
And not this idea that they should like respect the land first. And that I saw someone complaining about people speaking Thai and not English. And I was just like, boss man, how many languages do you speak?
Right.
You know? And even when you have someone criticize the accent that someone's speaking, I'm like, are you mental? It's very bizarre. The world we're living in is very bizarre.
Yeah. English people in particular, who we go, I'm saying we because I'm from England. This is not me. It's not my experience. But they'll go to Spain or go to Thailand and complain that people don't speak English. But you should speak English. And I even had this conversation with someone earlier this year. And they were like, so rude. Just some guys. I was at a restaurant. They were having a conversation. Me being me, I had to interrupt because I was like, don't come to my home and talk about my people because now I'm Thai. And they were like, oh, I just couldn't understand. He was an idiot. And I was like, sir, excuse me,
Mm.
who's an idiot? I was like, you have come to Thailand and you don't speak any English. So rather than you learning Thai and respecting people, because you're the same person that says, don't come to England and
Sure.
you can't speak English, you know?
Mm.
So I think there is a real big thing about at least learn the basic phrases. And if you can't, do everything you can to make them understand you. Stop.
Yeah.
I hate when people do this thing. It drives me insane. They'll go, how much? And the person does, how much? I'm like, that does
Increasing your volume does not improve the chances of comprehension. Like,
Please.
it's really annoying.
That has to be like if there's a tourism guide, like that has to be the first part of it, because I don't think it's just Thailand. I think that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And I do think that there are people that give it a bad reputation. Like people online are saying that Phuket is now Benidorm. I've not been to Benidorm. I
Neither
don't know.
have
Benidorm is a part of Spain that is basically English.
Okay.
Everybody who's there is English. There's a lot of English food, a lot of English people, and they're saying, "Oh, it's now Benidorm."
I don't get that
because-
vibe.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
definitely not. I think they're just going to the extreme of saying like people are coming here and ruining it with
Right.
tourism. And, you know, it wasn't like this years ago. And yes, unfortunately, Thailand is becoming very popular online, which means certain people are going to come here. And you can't control what people do. All you can do is when you go to these different countries, you give these people a great experience. So they think, oh, English people are really nice. You know, I get told that all the time. Oh, English people, you're lovely. And I think, I'm going to give you my experience.
Sure. Do you think that there is anything that you would want someone to know that we haven't necessarily touched on if they are considering not necessarily moving here, but anywhere in the world?
Yes, I would say don't start a business and then move very quickly.
Okay.
You know, have a long-term plan. I understand, and you can do it. You can create this online business and move 3 months later and wing it.
Mm-hmm.
I did that the first time, and I've done it many times. If
Sure.
you are a risk taker and you're very positive and just think everything's going to work out in my favor, great. But if not, build yourself a solid foundation, have your solid clients, have a set income, do a little bit of research. Oh, and the most important thing, do not move to a country you've never been to before. You know, I think people are like, oh, I'm just going to move to Vietnam.
Right.
And they're like, have you been to Vietnam? No. I'm like, okay. But, you know, don't, like for me, I was never moving to Phuket in 2023. I
Sure.
came here, I just booked a one-way ticket. I wasn't moving here.
Sure.
But because I had a great experience and I loved it, then I came back. But I think moving to a country that you've never been to before is a big thing, because there's going to be bits about that country that you're not going to like, and then it might make you then want to go home. So I would say go and experience it for a couple of months first, and then you can make the decision.
Is there something about being a tourist here versus living here that really strikes you as very different? Or was your experience in 2023 a complete reflection of how you live now?
Yeah, it was the reason that I moved here now. So being a tourist and living here for me, is the I mean, the only difference is that you're going to incur problems like,
Sure.
oh no, you could have had a car crash as a tourist. I just thought about it, I'm like, you could have a car crash as a tourist. I think it's the same situation. Yeah, I think the only difference is that a tourist, you know, you're going home, whereas being here, you don't know what's going to happen.
When you're going to leave.
Yeah.
If your life was a postcard, describe the picture to me.
Oh, there's definitely a beach. It's definitely a beach, and it's sunset. It's sunset, and there's a beach, and then there's a woman sat on the sand looking out towards the sea.
Amazing.
That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you.